Well, joining us live, Sally Capp, Lord Mayor of Melbourne. It's a good day, a good morning this morning, Sally.
Good morning, Peter. It is pleasing that we're coming out of lockdown, but of course not quite unbridled joy yet.
Yeah, you've got restrictions, some restrictions that remain in place and are going to be there for some time. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, it's the lockdown lags that continue to hurt small business, particularly owners and their teams. It's why we keep calling for a comprehensive program like JobKeeper to be implemented to bring some of that financial stability, also to bring comfort for emotional and mental anguish. And there's no doubt, even this morning, Peter, I've already had a text from a cafe owner who said that he is now financially crippled, but he's still going to try and open his store today, and I'll be going down there for a bowl of soup and for a chat. These are the sorts of things that are happening right across our city. So whilst restrictions ease, the ongoing hardship means we need more support and we need more certainty.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So, Sally, in what state are businesses emerging from this latest lockdown?
Yeah, look, it's really hard. We've just finished lockdown 5. We're into bounce back 5, and there is a sense of positivity and optimism because we've done this before and we're actually pretty good at bounce backs here in Melbourne. But of course, for business owners and their teams, it's been particularly tough, and it's that bit harder every time to be able to reopen. The cafe owner I spoke to this morning, he's had to let some key staff go, and it's that ongoing ripple effect right across the city. It's interesting, Peter, because we know that JobKeeper was so fundamental to really steadying teams, small business owners, and their ability just to be able to feel confident about surviving and sustaining themselves during these times of massive unpredictability and uncertainty. And that's why we continue to call for it. But Peter, we also know that the answer to all of this is in our vaccination program. We want a finish line, we want some targets, and we want to see the acceleration of the vaccine rollout.
We just had our reporter Andrea Crothers reporting from Canberra and talking about the fact that consumer confidence, consumer spending is so low this time around as well, which is different to how it's been for the last couple of lockdowns. Is that an example that it's not just businesses, it's people who are worried not just about now, but also worried about future lockdowns to come?
Exactly. That unpredictability has really set in for people's mindsets. It's also, I think, another key feature of the difference, particularly in lockdown 2 for us last year, was that when people were on JobKeeper, they felt they had some capacity to keep spending. And we saw that in takeaway meals and online shopping. And we're seeing quite a different approach this time. I think in terms of introducing new schemes, of course, every bit of support is welcome, but when there are different eligibility criteria, different things that you need to sign up for, and ongoing outbreaks in New South Wales, I think that sense of uncertainty is really settling. For us, it is about encouraging people to get going again. We've got a very measured government here in Victoria. If they say that lockdown is over, then we should feel confident about that, and we should feel confident to get out and really do everything that's allowed. And in doing that, we will be helping with the economic activity here, not just in Melbourne, but right across Victoria.
Do you share Dan Andrews' concerns that there's no ring of steel, as he says, in place in Sydney, and that's having consequences in other parts of the country?
Well, we have seen here in Victoria, we've managed to beat back the virus using the hard lockdowns. But Peter, even last year, I know when we were in our extended lockdown, that did have an impact on Sydney. Our city economies, our state economies are so closely intertwined, and the confidence, the way employers work across both markets, all of those elements means that we really do impact each other. So from our perspective, even last night at our council meeting, we certainly sent out a message of support and acknowledgement to the City of Sydney. Our teams have been in touch. I've been in touch with Clover Moore. We know that the long-term confidence for our nation means that we need our capital cities, and particularly Melbourne and Sydney, at full throttle. And again, it really brings me back to the rollout of that vaccine and making sure that we do that as quickly as possible. We set a finish line and we galvanise the entire population to meet those targets.
So with that said, do you think that there should just be a complete shutdown similar to what you had last year to get out of it sooner?
Well, Peter, not for me to say. The health experts in New South Wales, together with the New South Wales government, will be setting those limits. Here in Victoria, we've followed the lockdown rules that have been set, and I think in this latest example, lockdown 5, we've been pleased to be able to come out of it and move ourselves forward. That is positive, and we need to take every single positive step forward at the moment, Peter.
Okay, Sally, appreciate your time as always. We'll talk to you soon.